Hi Shumi,
Hi,
you know,
Patso.
it's good to see you, and you always love Zindegi.
Come, join me for a cup of tea.
So we are going to start this podcast series on Embrace Zindegi. It's a great initiative, and I think probably we should justify our.
Yes, let's
this
celebrate
initiative.
with a cup of tea.
Oh, thank you so much.
And good evening, viewers. Embrace Zindegi in collaboration with SAS Foundation. I have my dear friend Dr. Partho Bose with me. And today we are celebrating embracing life, embracing Zindegi. So it is a woman's journey after all, Partho, isn't it? That I'm in my mid-50s, working all the time, running, and we constantly feel that aren't we in giving mode all the time? So therefore there is a deficit. Whereas women, as women, we should be the healthiest in the family. We are in the epicenter. So a healthy woman will be healthiest in reproductive system as well. But what happens if we look back and if we look at the mirror, how often are we looking after our diet, our nutrition? And if there is a deficit all the time, I think we are posing a threat to our future generation. Probably what they should take from us, we are not being able to give to them. So this weird situation out here, on one side you find 30% is it, the world population, we are anemic, and then the other percentage, high percentage who are obese. So therefore we are not healthy. And Partho, please tell me, where do we make up for this deficiency all the time?
Shumi, I fully agree with you. This is a very serious concern because this planet belongs to the next generations, and who is bringing the next generation? We the mothers, we the women.
Yes.
And if these women are not respected, they are not well nourished. A well nourished body will always give you a well nourished, next generations.
Absolutely.
So why don't people understand? It's not only for their own growth and development; it's also for the whole planet at large.
Yes.
I'm not talking about only the physical requirements or the nutrition requirements. It's about your cognitive requirement. It is about your emotional requirement.
Yeah,
so if nutrition is something like key to any kind of wellness.
Yeah.
We have been talking in our podcast that we need an holistic harmony. Wellness is a very 360-degree
Yeah.
wheel. There are so many components of physical, mental, emotional,
Yeah.
intellectual, cosmic, and so many. But the basic core is the nutrition, and that is what I call the core fitness, the core requirement. If you are not nutritionally well nourished, so how can you cope up with the different situations in life? Because
I think a lot of it comes through from our parents, from our mothers. You'll always find them in a very sacrifice mode. That they'll cut the fruit, they'll give it to you, probably just have one little bit for themselves.
Absolutely, Shumi. And even I've seen in my own family, even if you are, because we Indians, we waste a lot of food.
Yeah.
Even if you see, when you're wasting food on your dining table, and who dumps this all food? Normally the mother. So they become a little, something I call it a public toilet. You dump. I said, why are you eating all this? Because no, who will eat? We should not waste food.
We shouldn't waste it. We should.
I think probably somewhere we have to educate the masses and classes that the problem is same in everywhere. And let me tell you, Shumi, there is very interesting thing is that the whole women world, because of this reproductive challenges, you have those monthly menstrual losses because of huge amount of iron you lost. Then you have pregnancies, then you have menopausal changes. At every level there is some kind of debt which is going. There is a menstrual debt, there is a pregnancy debt, there is a menopausal changes. Then of course this is now the working woman. They have a twin responsibility. They are taking to the home and the work.
Absolutely.
So I'm finding that they are basically, जैसे कहते हैं ना धक्का चल रहा है, and somehow they're dragging and they're not complaining.
Constantly pushing ourselves to the edge. And if you see, you're talking about menstruation, it has always been, the pain. Let's talk. I don't think I've ran to the doctor, for treating myself to menstruation pains. But then I popped in pills and I do it for my daughter as well. But is this the way to
And even if you see in my clinical practice, when they come for specific problem, chest pain or cough or any kind of specific medical problem, when I go for detailed medical history, I say they're all fatigue.
Yes,
They're not fatigue.
constantly.
Constantly they are fatigue. He said, doc, fatigue to chalta hai because, I manage with a lot of caffeine and all those things. No, thakna mana hai. It's not that you should.
Thakna mana hai.
So you're not supposed to get fatigue. Answer is that the society is going through a tremendous amount of easy fatiguability, which I call it. There's a physical fatigue and there is a mental fatigue also. There's a mental fatigue and there's a physical fatigue.
Yes, obviously. And emotional fatigue.
All this fatigue जो थक रही है society ना, जो थकावट है जिसको हम कहते हैं थकावट is a syndrome, I call it. It's a थकावट syndrome. You have a central थकावट, you have a physical थकावट, you have an emotional थकावट, and somebody is expecting a lot of things from you. So we have to be.
And partly, if I see it in the children, I see it in their output as well. If the mother is tired in the house, there's no way you are going to energize your children. So we have to be all the time, in our fittest mode, isn't it?
Absolutely. And there we are going to tell our audience that how we can do it. You know that they are in the tremendous amount of debt in all the sections of the society, and that is the reason when they go into mid-50s or once they cross the menopausal, they have a tremendous of fatigue, emotional changes because coping becomes because when you have a poorly nourished body, your coping skills also will be poor.
Isn't it both ways, Partho? It is like not working out. You are tired because you're not working out.
Both ways.
You are leading a very a lethargic life. You don't feel like doing anything.
And that's why, as you said, as you quoted a figure, the global figure, on one side 30% are malnourished, what I call anemic, on 35% are obese also. So when you're fatigued, you feel like snacking, you pick up those wrong feels just to get the calorie feel, because calorie gives you the little extra energy. So we are into a kind of a vicious cycle, and it is something like a last straw on the camel's back. कि ऊँट थक गया, now बैठने की कोशिश कर रहा है, so there we have to take care of the ऊँट. ऊँट is really fatigued these days. So that's why we are talking about this. Why, how to come out of this fatigue and how we can stop this थकना मना है. दर्शकों, ये चीजें आप सुनिए, कुछ बातें हम करेंगे आपसे, बहुत गहरी बातें करेंगे. मैं और शूमी आपसे बातें करेंगे कि जो ये उधारी चल रही है, इतने सालों की उधारी है, जो प्रेगनेंसी की उधारी है, रिप्रोडक्टिव उधारी है, मेंस्ट्रुअल उधारी है और मेनोपॉज, उसको हम कैसे कवर अप कर सकते हैं. सिर्फ मैं एक चीज बताना चाहूंगा. हाँ, शूमी कुछ कह रहे थे आप?
I was just saying that, I mean, he's a busy doctor and I'm a professional. But in spite of all this, we are here together because I just met him about a couple of months back. It's not that we have known each other for so long, but the kind of energy he has, the kind of knowledge he has, he is constantly wants to disseminate knowledge with everybody. So we thought, why not come together on this virtual platform? And for the youngsters who are so savvy, technically savvy, why don't we kind of, come together and give some kind of share knowledge? It is not giving out knowledge, but share knowledge with you. And I guess your problems are our problems as well. Do write to us in comment box.
Absolutely. And Shumi, I'm really grateful to you. You appreciated my effort because you have seen all my patients. I educate, I try to talk about a holistic harmony, I talk about nutrition, I talk about physical fitness. And also I believe that one of the reasons I can cope up with multiple things, with my ICUs, my OPD, my patients, my own workout, the reason being that I'm very disciplined about my nutrition, I'm disciplined about the philosophies of life. And in every area I give my best, and that's why we believe it. That's why we thought that it's what if we can do at this age, why can't you?
Yes, absolutely. If we are professing thakna mana hai, why can't you? You join us in this journey of thakna mana hai.
So, दोस्तों, ये थकना मना है कैसे. और मैं आपको ये कहना चाहता हूँ, जैसे जो बच्चे भी इसको सुन रहे हैं, कि हमारी उम्र वाले भी सुन रहे हैं, हमसे कम उम्र वाले, ज्यादा उम्र वाले भी सोच रहे. You always remember, we are very grateful this technology, because of technology we can reach out to you people. Now, if I see about 30 patients or 40 patients a day, through this I can see thousands of people and you can forward it.
Absolutely.
So my request to all of you, if you like these things, subscribe this channel and spread the good work. सिर्फ मैं एक ही चीज कहना चाहूंगा, this is a decade of information, education and communication. If you are well informed, then you don't have to go to the wrong way of collecting the information. You will find in the nutrition portal there are so many things which is going on. People are picking up wrong things, and the biggest misnomer about the nutrition, Shumi, the diet is a misnomer.
Absolutely, running to the dietitian.
I'm not saying dietitian. The word diet is a misnomer because the right word is a nutrition. You should get your card. So body needs nutrition. So let me tell you, friends, in the journey of nutrition, there are two important things. One is, we'll talk in detail about the different, there are two things in the human system. One is what we call the proximate principles. जिसके बिना गाड़ी नहीं चल सकते. For that you need carbohydrate, proteins and fats.
Right.
So that is very important because that is the thing which pushes you, that gives you the energy, the zeal, ability to work.
The fuel to work.
Fuel to work. So this is called proximate. Then you need also certain other things like vitamins and minerals and all. These are called micronutrients. These are also required. So it is something like a muthi. You need carbohydrate, you need proteins, you can need fat, you need vitamins and minerals, and most important, fibers.
Yes.
And if this is are not together, muthi nahi banegi. And if there is no muthi, there is no strength.
No strength.
So one thing is that we will give you a lot of interesting information, but today what we are trying to tell you is that how we can enhance this nutrition and what are the key areas which we have observed in our clinical practice, also the literature. And Shumi, I'm telling you, in this journey of nutrition in women, one of the reasons they feel sluggish, they feel lethargic, they have a low metabolism. We will talk about what is metabolism, but what I'm trying to touch upon this low level of this metabolism. The reason being, there is a deficiency which is going on certain, and deficiency of what? Deficiency of nutrition, deficiency of micronutrients, deficiency of certain specific nutrients. It has been found that 6 key areas have been identified in a women's journey of nutritional deficiency. So दर्शकों मैं वो कहना चाहता हूँ वो 6 कौन सी ऐसी गहरी बातें हैं जो आप लोगों के अंदर, जो women at large, उनके अंदर deficiency should be take care of. Number 1, the most important nutrition which is deficient in most of the women I've seen in all the masses and classes is an iron.
Iron. Okay.
Now, Shumi, you will also agree that women lose a lot of iron during
menstruation.
And month, in an average, if you also take a healthy woman, they normally menstruate 4 to 5 days, even 3 to 4 days. It's a good amount of iron you lost. And let me tell you, friends, how important is iron? The redness of the blood, what you call the hemoglobin, the most important moiety of the hemoglobin is iron. If your iron is not healthy, if your oxygen carrying capacity of the body is weak, how will you carry oxygen? Hemoglobin is that card which is carrying the oxygen to your cells.
So I guess that's why we are anemic.
That's why iron deficiency is a bigger problem. So friends, the first thing is that all the women, they are supposed to have a high iron diet, and how you can do it. I'll give you certain key tips. There are certain foods which are rich in iron, like for example, you have you can take those green vegetables. Spinach is good. You can have those squash, which is good. You can have then you can have those kacha kela, what we call this is beet is also very good, which is pigmented, and one anjeer is also good in iron. But normally I tell you is that even subah उठ के गुड़ चना लेना, गुड़ चना. If you don't have
go back to the old days,
good gives you the jaggery, gives you the iron, horsepower, and iron, and chana gives you the horsepower, the protein. So start your day with good chana. And also I tell the Indian women, most of the people, they must be having an old iron wok or कढ़ाई, छोटी सी कढ़ाई में
खाना बनाना,
कढ़ाई में थोड़ा सा दाल को तड़का करवा लीजिए, चना बना लो, pomegranate डाल दो. Even pomegranate is a good source of iron. So normally if you start your morning with good chana, little kala chana, a little you can saute on the कढ़ाई, black कढ़ाई, iron की कढ़ाई, और उसमें थोड़ी सी pomegranate डाल दो तो आपकी awesome iron बन जाती है. और दूसरी बात है metabolism, अगर workout करने से पहले केला खा लो, केला is also a good source of iron. Then you can have, India grows a lot of कच्चा केला, what is called
apples as well.
Apple, कच्चा केला, and a lot of you take this fibrous. But one thing I must tell you, even those who are non-vegetarian, red meats and all these are good sources of iron. Even जो liver जो होता है हमारी, जो chicken livers and all, they are also good sources. But they are normally very calorific and high cholesterol. But green vegetables, even your lentil has a good source of iron.
So
and all those things green, and
we must have a bowl full of vegetables with all these,
especially don't
beetroot,
especially and spinach and all those things, and see to it that you have a lot of kala chana in the morning. So these are very soak it in the night and add little of jaggery and this and you can make your own. Then of course I tell you is that very interesting way. I tell you a lot of once you grow older, a lot of issues there are little constipation, especially those who have thyroid issues and all. Normally I tell people, जिसे आपने देखा ना जो सूखा खजूर जिसको हम कहते हैं, they are called chwara. Now what you can soak them in a bowl of doodh and milk in the night. So वो फूल जाता है पूरा, so it's like a dessert. So you get a high iron at the same time. It's a very good laxative. So you get a good very bowel clearance in the morning. So these are the small tips, दर्शकों, you should pick up from our podcast and be with us. This is number 1. Number 2, the Before going to the number 2, one more thing I want to tell you is that iron is a very difficult at times because the iron supplements are not very gut friendly.
Okay.
And moreover, the phytic acid,
it causes constipation,
and moreover the cereals have a very high level of phytic acid. So try not to take this iron and other things with those cereals and all. They maybe delay the absorption. So there has to please discuss with your doctor and give a space. Don't take with your cereals and all those things because the iron will have a delayed absorption. But if you naturally take all those things which I told you about, the zanjeer and all those things in iron walk and gur chana and all those pomegranates, spinach and
organic way,
organic way. And I always be the kacha kela which I talk about. Arbi jaisa bana sakte hain.
Kacha kela is the most favorite thing in my family.
And it's very rich in iron and it tastes like an arbi. This is number 1. Number 2, which is deficiency, which is fine in women, and that is called vitamin D deficiency because there are 2 reasons.
I'm a victim.
And the reason being, one of the reasons being in the COVID time, we were homebound, we hardly got sun, we got an excuse to stay away from sun. And secondly, women, we feel that, once we get the sun, we will get little darkish. Already India is a dark skin people. So we are applying those sun protection creams. So I said, ये sun protection cream ही ठीक चीज नहीं है. I'm totally against. So you please.
So we can't afford to do that.
Okay, but I tell you, but even if you're using the sun protection cream, one thing is that don't carry chhatri. Chhatri, normally what happens, it cuts you from the sun. Already, especially we are in metro. The metro has already cut so much of sun. You find a lot of daylight which is going on. But normally no chhatri. What I suggest you, if you really want to use a sun protection cream, your SPF value should be around 30 to 40.
Okay, not more than that.
Not more than that. Otherwise, there will be delay in absorption. Since we are dark skin, already the absorption is delayed. Try to get at least 30 to 40 minutes of good sun. And the best place for the sun is the back. I know back becomes a little difficult for the women, but you can get up in the morning, go to your rooftop and get some back sun because that has got the maximum absorption.
A little walk during the day.
So vitamin D is important, and vitamin D absorption can really enhance you. It increases your metabolism, takes care of the bone.
I clearly notice my hair, when I go for a walk, it's much faster, much better if I'm full of vitamin D.
And absolutely, and vitamin D with 30 minutes, and you don't have to buy this costly vitamin D sachet, which is normally you require around 2,000 units in a daily basis from the diet. But roughly, if you are deficient, you can consume those vitamin D sachets, which are 60k available weekly. You can carry. But more important, you should get those exposure. There's one more thing which I want to tell you is that vitamin D is so important. Even in COVID time, those who had a good sunshine, they got protected because that takes care of, once you get sun, your biological clock also improves.
Absolutely.
Because your biological clock dissolves your mood fluctuations. So if your vitamin D is low, that means your sun exposure is low, your mood variations are low. So we are going to come in the mood swings podcast slowly. So vitamin D plays a very important in your mood swings and all those things. You feel good. So vitamin D is must for your wellness also.
And in your children.
So a good amount of vitamin D on a regular basis, which you should get it. And bone metabolism in women, they become very osteoporotic after the hormonal changes in the menopausal group. So it's a very important thing. People say, a lot of people, they say, Doc, I take salmon. Where you get salmon? They're so expensive. Let's not talk costly things here. But I think the nature is the best.
The fish for the non-vegetarian, that's enough.
So vitamin D is one thing. You may get a lot of calcium from your food. That is, but vitamin D is something which you need from the nature, from the sun, God. And without this, absorption of calcium is not possible. And it takes care of the immune system, takes care of the mood, it is an antioxidant, and it has been said it can protect certain cancerous disease also. Number 3, it has been found the women are very prone to iodine deficiency, and that's why hypothyroidism is very rampant in women. And many women you will find they are gaining weight because either they are sleep disorder or they are little sluggish, they become little plumpish, they start gaining weight. It is because of low metabolism. Because thyroid takes care of your basal metabolism. It talks about your basal metabolic rate. Thyroid is another deficiency and that's why these people feel fatigue. So low iron makes you fatigue, low vitamin D makes you fatigue, and this iodine deficiency which makes you fatigue. So even if you get fatigue, so see to it that this iodine deficiency should be taken care of. And the good, lot of seafoods and seaweeds. Now there's a trend going on in the world that if you love it, it's good. Otherwise, get your thyroid check and get your supplement iodine.
It comes from salt as well. A lot of the salts.
Lot of salts, but still it's very rampant. You won't believe. Averagely, I see 1 or 2 patients of hypothyroid because as a pulmonologist, a lot of hypothyroid patient comes to us because hypothyroid affects your sleep disorder.
Okay.
You develop sleep apnea, and choking is another disorder.
It causes some disbalance of
and so this is a third disorder which is very rampant in women, and especially in menopausal women. And many times people, they go for those crash nutrition, expertise advice, but they, on the back of it, they found it's an iron deficiency. Iron deficiency, it's a hypothyroidism. This is also has to be taken care. Seaweed, seafood, these are good sources. Number 4, it has been found in women there are certain specific nutrients have been found to be very deficiency, and which is a big study, and it's becoming a little epidemic in the world. One is called selenium deficiency.
Okay.
Now the selenium deficiency gives you cognitive dysfunction, makes you fatigued.
All right.
It has also been a certain amount of cancerous disease. It's an antioxidant properties, and it has got a lot of good things. And you won't find that this selenium is also coming because our food does not come.
It for the first time.
It's been many times when you check in our clinical practice, when I find the iodine is okay, the iron is okay, and even if your vitamin D is okay, but we tend to check the selenium is low. And let me tell you, in fact, the nuts,
which we'll talk about
later and all. So one of the nuts which is of an amazing source of selenium is the Brazil nut.
Okay.
And this is full of nuts, and so selenium is one thing also you should look for if you feel a little fatigue. These are all micronutrients. So this is also one very important areas, and you should talk about it. Then of course there are 3 important things the women should be very careful.
Okay.
The 3 vitamins.
Right.
One is the B12. This is called cyanocobalamin, and B6, which is called pyridoxine, and the folic acid. These 3 things have been found is rampantly deficient in the women, and it's spanned in Asian races also. And since those who are vegetarians, their vitamin deficiency are there. I'm not saying that the vegetarian should have deficiency, but non-vegetarian they compensate with us. With lot of dahi and all those poultry stuffs and other things, but this is one area. They also give you muscle weakness, incoordination, fatigability, and folate. Folate is such an important, friends. A mother should have a right amount of folic acid, because the reason being, folate improves your neural tubes, like your embryonic changes. And healthy baby is a function of a good folate level in the mother, and that's why you find a lot of when you go to folic acid supplement is given during pregnancy. But otherwise, you should be consuming good folate. So your cereals, whole grains, fresh fruits, any of the poultry products. So folic acid. So friends, दर्शकों, आपकी विटामिन और फोलिक एसिड को अगर आप रियली बैलेंस रखना चाहते हैं, एक संतुलन आहार चाहिए. सब मिला के कलरफुल प्लेटर जो हम कहते हैं कि ऐसा नहीं कि चुन चुन के खाइए, आप उसको कलरफुल, फ्रूट्स को भी कलरफुल रखिए, पोल्ट्री को भी कलरफुल रखिए. मिल्क के बहुत सारे तरीके हैं. कई लोग कहते हैं कि डॉक्टर साहब हमें मिल्क सूट नहीं करता, बट friends, I tell you, there are so many ways you can take milk. One is, normally I also feel that milk is little glycemic because it increases your sugar levels and all because of lactose and lactose. आप मिल्क को फाड़ सकते हैं, जिसको हम कहते हैं छेना, वे प्रोटीन. You can make homemade protein is very easy through nimbu and fitkiri. You can have whey protein. Have a lot of whey protein. Put a lot of veggies into it. It's such an awesome, and it can be a very good,
it's
sandwich.
Such a substitute for feta cheese,
and it's so good. You can have. Then also you can collect all those, makhan from your doodh. And makhan ko, when you collect a certain amount of makhan, run it. And the ghee you should not be applying your feet. That will help you glow. And the rest of the food, add a little water, run it, and that is called matha.
Yes.
So so milk you can get whey proteins, you can get matha, you can get cream, and the most important thing, dahi. Dahi may not be good for your throat, but normally I recommend people, आप खुल्लड़ में दही जमाइए. Yogurt. So take out the fat. Yogurt, put some fruits, it becomes it's something like a cocoa berry yogurt ice cream. So you can make it innovative. So have lot of milk products in an innovative way, a lot of fresh food, veggies. Take care of vitamins and folic acid.
And take care of yourself. Whenever, Dr. Partha is talking about having a platter, but you tend to distribute it. Have
Absolutely.
You yourself as
and
well.
The last but not the least, and another thing which we are finding in a lot of fatigued young ladies and Also, those who have been menopausal is copper metabolism. Copper deficiency is another rampant problem we are finding in the clinical practice. And copper, and that's why having a healthy nuts is very important. Our almonds, our pistachio, all those nuts are the good source. Even seeds. Almond has a very high level of this copper. So I think a good nut, which we'll talk about in our next shows and all, how important bold with the nuts. So दर्शकों, ये 6 बातें याद रखिएगा. आयरन डेफिशिएंसी, आयरन का ख्याल रखिएगा, आयोडीन का ख्याल रखिएगा, विटामिन डी का ख्याल रखिएगा, फोलिक एसिड, विटामिन B6, B12 मतलब पायरिडॉक्सिन और साइनोक्लोबिन का ख्याल रखिएगा, कॉपर की ख्याल रखिएगा और सेलेनियम. ये 6 बातें आपको अच्छा लगा कि नहीं बती, नई बातें हमने आपसे कही है. इन 6 बातों का ख्याल रखिएगा, अपने आप को खुश रखिएगा और खुश रहने से आपकी आहार अच्छी बढ़ेगी. टेक केयर ऑफ योर न्यूट्रिशन, and if you take care of the nutrition will take care of you and your next generation, because the planet belongs to the next generation.
And you embrace Zindegi.
Embrace Zindegi. अब थक ना मना है. जुड़िए हमारे साथ. अगर पसंद है हमारे कमेंट बॉक्स पे जाइए, सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, लोगों को बताइए. बहुत अच्छी अच्छी बातें आपसे करेंगे. जुड़े रहिए. नमस्ते. थैंक यू सो मच. टेक केयर.